When they ask you anything, your response should be lawyer, not I don't know or I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know and I don't know what you're talking about, unfortunately, could be used against you in the court of law. You know, those Miranda rights that they read to you, anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. I don't know can be used against you. So don't ever say that. You know, when people, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. No, that's one of the dumbest things you
No,
could say.
books. I think what people struggle with and what they should
Yep.
understand is like, you can have a casual conversation up to lawyer, meaning like there's a
Fam,
way to
there's
walk up
no
to it because people
there's
don't
no
want to
need
like
to have
stop.
any
Hear me
conversation,
out.
bro.
So people don't misconstrue what I'm saying because it's very important that like you can people struggle with the language. Like the couple start to ask interrogating questions and they're in the middle of a conversation and they don't know how to hardline that conversation. And so like they have a hard time going, lawyer. You shouldn't say lawyer. Say, I think I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. And if they ask any more questions, you keep referring to that statement. Don't go any further trying to explain why you need a lawyer because their initial response is going to be, well, why do you need a lawyer?
100%, bro. 100%. 100%. Shouldn't have any
Yeah.
conversation. You shouldn't answer anything. Yo, if they're kicking your door down, there's no talking your way out of it. If they have a warrant, there's no talking your way out of it. There's no need to talk to them at all, which gives your lawyer the ability to do and say whatever needs to be done to help you get out of that situation. So I do see a lot of people fuck up. Now, when it comes to this, their goal is to seize cryptocurrency. Like I don't even know how warrants for crypto work. Like, do they get a warrant for your ledger? Like, can they get a warrant for your ledger, your seed phrase? Like, this is the type of shit that's difficult, and I'm gonna assume they can. I'm gonna assume
Well, they could.
I'm gonna assume that there's
Hey,
stupid
Book.
people in this space that'll say things like, "Oh, I forgot my seed phrase," or "I lost that seed phrase a long time ago." Well, let me just give you guys an example here. Let's just say they were working with you, they were going to give you 5 years, but that deal was with the seed phrase, and you forgot your seed phrase or you lost that seed phrase a long time ago. You'd be very surprised how fast you're going to find that seed phrase when they put 20 years in front of your face. And you probably talked too much when they raided your shit and interrogated you because you got scared. They probably did some psychological thing that tricked you. Like, I definitely see a lot of people in this space capitulating in all kinds of ways. May God help you guys. I hope this never happens. But these are things you guys should know. Like, it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. And I'm not even talking about project founders. As traders, you know, that time that your friend, you sent them some crypto, you don't know what your friend went and did after that, and it linked back to you. Now you're in an interrogation room or linked to a money laundering scheme. You never know. That's how crazy this world is when it comes to crypto. Now, that dollar that the cashier gave me back at Costco in change, that dollar could have been in killers' hands, cartels' hands, murderers' hands. It really had no trace. Like, that dollar went into my pocket. No one's gonna come and tell me, hey, why you holding this dollar bill that this big kingpin had 3 weeks ago? But with crypto, your wallet connecting to something could in fact get you in a situation that you don't want to be in. So this is why, like, I'm really urging you guys to listen and start being very, very careful in this space. Always prepare for the worst. You could never lose. Don't get caught with your pants down. Be careful who you trust and speak to and work with and do things with, because shit is getting very, very real very, very quick.
It's getting sticky.
Very sticky, man. Very sticky, like Gorilla Glue. What's up, Sphinx?
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the warrant thing. Um, Depending on the jurisdiction and whatever any charges are, um, it's really advisable not to open the door. In fact, until you are that warrant is confirmed, because again, depending on the jurisdiction and the charges.
I ain't trying to get shot,
No, no, no.
Sphinx.
Listen, no. I know. I don't want you to either. Believe me. But what I'm saying is, no, you're communicating with them. I'm talking about you're talking to them, like communicating with the people outside the door. If you open the door, sometimes that is an invitation in, right? That constitutes letting them in. So that they're
It actually doesn't. So the minute your door is open, they are not allowed to cross the threshold. That's why they have to be invited, or you have to insist they come in.
I'm not
But
talking about inside.
if they
Akil,
have
can
a
I finish what
warrant
I'm
to
saying,
enter the
please? Can I
premises,
please finish what
Sphinx,
I'm saying?
if they
Can I
finish it,
please
Sphinx,
finish
but you
what
just
I'm
got to make sure
saying?
you.
Can I please finish what I'm
Well, you just got
saying?
to interject
Can I
because you got to
please
make sure
finish
it's
what
in
I'm
there. Yes.
saying? Can I
Well, you
please
were
finish
wrong. I
what
just
I'm
want to make
saying?
sure.
Thank you. We see that in cases of, for instance, with ICE, like immigration and stuff. The reason I brought that up is this is so new in crypto right now. So we don't know what standards will be applied, right? So generally in cases, yeah, it doesn't, if you open the door, it doesn't mean that they can come in. But for instance, with ICE, we know that, yeah, if the door is open and they're considered an illegal alien, that's it. That's considered a surrender. So I'm gonna hand it over back to one of the wonderful hosts. Um, uh, so this motherfucker.
So hey, Props, how you doing,
Hold on. So
Props?
this
Hey,
mother.
Props, what's up? How you been,
So this.
Props?
So this motherfucker can talk.
Wow, you're really sensitive there, Sphinx. All I
Wait,
said was,
wait,
"What's up,
hold the
Props?"
fuck up. Hold the fucking phone. I forgot to reset the room anyway. So if you guys haven't already, like, comment, retweet. There's 87 comments, 300 people. The ratio is crazy. It's almost as bad as a D-Gods party. All men. Come on, guys. Like, comment, retweet. Akil, you were saying something. Go ahead.
Yeah, Props. So number one, this isn't new. So the federal government they have to follow the law, right? Even in crypto, even if they're coming to your house with a warrant, they still have to follow the law. Like you have federal protections. Like there's a reason why they just can't enter your domicile and like arrest you for anything. They have to have probable cause. There needs to be a warrant. That search warrant can be executed. In that warrant, it will say if they can enter with force, if need be. It literally can state that. So there are many factors that go into this. Number one. Number two, if you there, you're absolutely right, Books. There's an old saying: if you ever got pulled over, don't walk, don't talk, don't blow. Same thing in any scenario. Don't walk with them, don't talk with them. Say nothing, call your attorney, and if they keep pressing you, be like, hey, I want to speak to your commander. And then don't say another word. Be like, I refuse to speak until your commander gets here. And then once their commander gets there, then you go, I'd like to speak to my attorney. That's all you need to say. And if they try to push you any further, go back to step one. I like to speak to my attorney. So no matter how many times they try to force you to say something, they legally can't. And that objection can be brought up in court. Number two, in terms of the whole schematics of this, they don't really read you your Miranda rights on the scene like they do in the movies, right? It has to be at any point. I think there's a recent court case, maybe 2 years ago, where they read some guy his Miranda rights after that he was being held in a detention center for like 24 hours. They just have to read it at some point. So you can be held without them actually reading you your Miranda rights. So that's why it's important just to tell them, I'm not going to talk. I'd like to speak to my attorney. Or let me speak to your commander. I'll wait till your commander gets here to speak. And then when the commander gets there, then you say, I would like to see my attorney. So that's really what you're just saying. So it's enforced, and that it's said multiple times. Because even if their cameras go off or whatever, they'll have that. But the feds do have to follow federal policy. They cannot violate it because that's what the Constitution's for. They can't violate your rights. That is your government then violating your
Your
constitutional
status,
rights,
it
and
depends
that's
on
when you
your
nail them to
status
the
though.
wall.
If you're a citizen, yes. If you're a legal resident, yes. But if you're an immigrant or they're suspecting that you're of not of a vicarious sort of status, or there's suspicion of it, or someone has tipped them off to it, and not even accurate, which people do when they get busted. They try to give tips. So what I'm saying is there are instances where that they can um, enter if you open the door, and it's not by force, but it's just if you open the door, and it's just a matter of your status in this country.
So that is a subject matter. That means that's an ICE agent, and the ICE agent is there to investigate the harboring of an illegal individual in the country.
No,
That is a
I've had no,
separate statute.
Akil, let me just explain. I've had clients who do international business, and okay, so somebody basically, to get a better deal, ratted my client out, okay? And said that they were like not in good standing, not a legal resident, whatever. And when my client came here for business, which he does twice a year, um, this very thing happened. And it wasn't by ICE, but ICE was coordinating with the FBI. And it took an entire fucking 3 days where they took him in and they were like, well, you know, you're not supposed to be here and blah blah blah. So what I'm saying is these different parts of the government, they coordinate. It's not just because it's, about crypto that ICE isn't going to get involved. They will coordinate with other divisions to get to what they need to get to.
I mean, it could be like you could be under a federal investigation, and ICE could just find out about you on the radio and show up within 30 minutes to the scene from nearly anywhere in the fucking country. They're like 30 minutes away. Same with the feds. If the feds have been investigating you and the county got you for something, they hear your name on the radio, they're there in 30 minutes. It happened to me in a hotel room. When it comes to signing things, too, like, let's just say, for example, and I've heard this so many times. So these are cool cops, or these are cool feds. Like they love me, making them laugh. They're cool. We were cracking jokes with each other, and these are not dumb people usually, guys. They'll sneak something in, like, hey, real quick, bro, I just need you to sign this for your phone. Guys, they're not being recorded. I know Akil said they have to follow all these precautions and all these rules, and they don't follow no fucking rules sometimes, bro. And that's, again, it's your word against theirs. Sometimes they're in cahoots with their commander or their partner or whatever it is, and they follow no fucking rules. But the police report that they write, they definitely follow the rules and write it down as if they did, and then you're there blaming them, saying, he said this, and they're like, no, I didn't, you're lying. And they finesse you into signing something, which could then lead to them plugging your phone in and scanning your phone and going through your phone or whatever you have. Like, guys, that's the type of shit you got to be careful with too. Don't ever sign anything. When you get pulled over and they smell something and want to search your car, some departments or whoever is the agency that's stopping you wants you to sign something. Don't sign it. Let them search the car without you giving them permission, without you signing it. Same thing with your home, unless they have that signed already by their fucking boss or the judge, and it's a warrant. Then I wouldn't sign anything ever. Never give anyone entry to your house. Let's just say they show up to your house for something and they want to get in, and you're like, I don't got drugs or anything to hide in this house. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm going to let them in. A lot of people make that mistake. What they forget about is their cousin's a heroin addict and had some heroin in his pocket and it fell between the couch, but nobody knows he's a heroin addict. He hides it and didn't say anything about, I lost something, when they were over, because they didn't want to get caught. Boom. Now you're getting charged with heroin. Now you're admitting to things that you probably should have never admitted to because you're so scared. Like, there's so many different ways that they fucking get you caught up. Now, what Akil was saying is definitely true, as far as they do have a policy they have to follow. This is a fact. If you keep your mouth shut the whole time and you say, I want to consult my attorney, lawyer, things like that, and you're observing the whole entire time, watching them do certain things, you could beat that case on a technicality based off of what you tell your lawyer, because they fucked up. They fuck up all the time. They got a warrant for me a long time ago. And on the warrant,
Because they're so excited and
correct,
antsy,
they
fuck
fucked up. on the warrant was an address that looked like mine, but wasn't the address that they came into, which was mine. It was an address across the street and down two businesses. I was able, due to that and some other things, to beat that case on a technicality. It cost a lot of money and all that, but they fucked up. So they do fuck up. You guys got to be very, very cautious with this type of stuff, man. That's the point. And the reason I'm even bringing this stuff up is because, again, this is a recorded space. Mark my fucking words.
Well, I want to point out,
Bro.
that
Yo, you
14...
do that again, I'm going to just remove
Shut the fuck up.
straight up.
Shut up.
So the
dog.
reason I'm bringing all this up is because CBDCs are around the corner. I pinned it to the top. The Federal Reserve says it's FedNow. Digital payment service is faster and better than than traditional banking. So what was once a scam and no good and all this bullshit, it's now what our federal government's pushing on us because it's in their best interest, which is CBDCs. They're coming, and they're coming a lot faster than we think. I would have never, ever in a million years thought that CBDCs would come in the year 2023 or 2024. I would have said probably by 2030, 4 months ago. But with everything going on, it sure is looking like we are close. Very close, like this shit is imminent. And they're going to implicate a lot of people that I might even think are the most innocent person, like people that wouldn't hurt a fly, wouldn't commit a crime. They're going to get caught up in something because they fucked up some way, somehow, didn't know. In some instances, their accountant fucked up. And unfortunately, it's my accountant's fault doesn't really work because you signed and agreed at the end of him doing your taxes when you were doing all the filing or whatever the fuck you had to do to assume most of the responsibility, if not all of it. What's up, Akil?
Oh, I was just going to tell you, man, like you're 100% right, number one. And number two, they started this journey, if nobody was listening or paying attention, on I think it was January like 4th or January 3rd of this year. They had a 12-week CBDC pilot program operating in the top 10 banks in the United States of America. If this is why I say, like, we just got to pay attention. I've long said CBDCs were going to win out mainly because they just had the juice behind them. They're going to give the government the tax revenue that they need, and that's all they're looking for. They're just making sure they get their pound of flesh, and the fact that BlackRock is behind USDC, so that should tell you something.
Yo, we have to look back. I brought this up yesterday for anyone that wasn't here. We have to really, really look back at the era where we were downloading music from LimeWire, Kazaa, even before BitTorrent, and burning CDs and selling them, burning bootleg movies on DVDs and selling them. That was a federal crime, straight up. Movies used to have a federal label that used to come up at the beginning of every movie. It was like, yo, you cannot, this is copyrighted, whatever. You cannot replicate, make copies. I don't know what the fuck it said. Anyway, there was a federal notice that came up at the beginning of every single movie. People didn't give a fuck. They did it anyway. They found people to make an example out of in the beginning. They charged them, they arrested them, they put judgments on people. The cases were crazy. They sued them for $100 million, fined them crazy money to the point where these people are straight up probably today just getting out of jail or just slaving to the government. God knows, like they buy a house, boom, lien on the house. Your mortgage was 400 grand, your mortgage is now 4 million. You got a paycheck from work that was 25 grand. You were excited for. You were going to buy that engagement ring for your wife. Well, guess what? It says garnished wages or wage garnishment right there next to your tax deductions and insurance deductions. And now the government is taking your money every time a paycheck comes in, just like child support does. The one thing, they'll always get their money. And you're paying that money to restitution and fines and shit from that case. I think that it's going to be very similar, but worse when it comes to this. That's how I'm looking at it. Like, they're going to go after more people. They're going to make examples out of more people. I don't think they're going to get everybody or be able to get everybody. However, investors that are influencers, investors that are very active in the Twitter space, Instagram, and we're sticking out, guys. We're sticking out like a fucking sore thumb. We're in your face. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a target. 1000%. If you don't think you're a target, you're out of your mind. I'm talking about in the future, not so much now. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get music, Prophets? Or some, there's,
Yeah, I got you.
I'm
Any specific genre?
shocked right now. I don't even know what to say. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something going on right now that you have never seen in Twitter history. This is the legendary, the number one on Super Spaces AI. You've probably all heard of him, the most famous influencer on Spaces in Web3. This man's handle is host of Spaces. 51, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's fucking
He
go!
looks like a Backstreet Boys or NSYNC too. What's up, Justin Timberlake on crack? How's it going?
Yo, that crack is good, Bucks. How's it going with you?
Yo, has to be good. You've been off Spaces for fucking weeks, bro. You off a good one or what?
I'm on holiday mode like everybody else in this business, but I'm back. I'm fucking back in full force. Just checking out the Spaces. You talked about government. Fuck the government.
What would you rate this space out of 10?
Oh, this is a 10. This is actually one of those spaces that aren't actually boring like every other space out there now.
All right, go to the other space and rate it. I've had enough of you already, 51. Thanks for stopping by. We love you, sir. Take care and brush your hair. What's up, Saul?
Oh my God. Finally, a fucking pretty face is shut up, Saul. A pretty face is on the stage. Jay Lissa, welcome to the stage. How's your day going? What's going on?
I just want to say I am the number one holder.
Stop! I'm talking to Jay Lissa!
I just want to tell 51 I am now the number one holder of his projects with -1. And yeah, man, we out here.
I actually have you beat with -2, Scott.
Hey, in 51, you better leave my boy Scorpio alone, bro.
51, you watched the WWE growing up?
He's still here.
51.
Hey, Scott, if he's your boy, I'm not selling.
Scott, 51, you got to settle down. He told you to watch it with Scorpio. You say to yourself under your breath, okay, and you listen. That's it. And you move forward.
No,
we don't want to listen. NFT. Let me ask you a question right now. Did you watch the WWE growing up?
Put a nigga in the chicken wing. 21.
51.
Can you do something for me? Can you hit a little rich?
51. Are you a fan? Are you a fan of The Rock? 51.
Thanks,
51.
Scott.
Are you a fan of The Rock?
Sure, I'm a fan of The Rock. I like rocks. I like.
Are you a fan of the wrestler The Rock? Did you watch him growing up?
I guess.
Bro, the show's not even ending. Canadian, sort of, Why are you doing this?
I guess he's fake Canadian, so I got to say, yeah. Right. I think he was from Calgary or something.
Can you tell us a little more about your project?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what your project is. What's up, Jay Lissa? How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Scott, we're doing well.
Scott doesn't know how to hold his composure.
No, I was laughing at Buck, not you, Jay.
Thanks for.
I didn't know I walked by you a bunch of times.
Oh my gosh! So yeah, Bucks, thanks for coming through the space this morning. It was awesome having you. But Prophets, I missed you in NFT LA. Ziana told me that you were there like literally the day before I arrived,
looking like the Grinch.
Hey yo, looks when women are talking, bro, learn to not interrupt them, bro.
Yes, I missed you. And then apparently I walked by Scott's like millions of times and had no idea that was Scott either. Because I don't think I've ever
Because
seen.
he looked like a bro. He's scary. That's
Yeah,
why.
I was
Scott,
like,
that
who's
ass
this? Like,
scary.
he's from the hood or something. He straight up was
I know.
roaming
I had my
around.
Taliban mask on and everything. People was like, "What the
I
fuck?"
was terrified of you. I mean, and like, and on Spaces, you have this cute ass penguin PFP with the do rag, but then like in person, it was so funny. But I wish I saw everybody. Like Prophets, I literally just missed you too.
In due time. In due time. Jay, listen, thanks for pulling up. Saul, go ahead and say what the fuck you had to say, pal.
Okay. Hey, for sure. Love you guys. So, Section 7 of the executive order put out earlier this month, it talks specifically in 2 paragraphs about actions to limit illicit finance associated with national security risks. And it just very quickly outlines basically their timeline. Like, because we were talking about a couple weeks ago, like 90 days, they said, from time of writing. So, digital assets have facilitated sophisticated cybercrime related to financial networks and activity, including through ransomware activity. So basically, it just keeps talking about money laundering, proliferating finance fraud, theft schemes, and corruption. These listed activities highlight the need for ongoing scrutiny and the use of digital assets, and then talks about basically, overthrowing our culture here. Within 90 days, they're going to have the reports on the table and be pushing. So I think it's relevant the fact we're having these conversations about what to do at the door, um, how to interact, because I think people might be sidewinded just to get information. A lot of times they're not even interested in what you're doing, but it might be what your friend's doing, and they're just trying to get up the food chain. So I don't want people to feel like we're fear mongering up here, but it is relevant, and especially when you're throwing 1,000 ETH at the
Man,
wall.
even
Seeing the
you
shit.
guys gotta be careful too. Like, man, I do see a lot of people getting involved in some business they have nothing to get involved with, and sometimes I'm just like, man, these people really don't understand what real life is like on the internet. One, it's not hard to find you and get you. Like that little VPN that you're using is not protecting you in any way, shape, or form. I can promise you guys that. Two, like we saw what happened with hacks, where Twitter employees were clearly involved in certain hacks. Like there's no fucking way a hacker was getting in through your fucking firewall. And no, it costs too much money. The amount of computer power that you need to break certain applications is not happening in your local hacker's fucking basement. Straight up, it's not. Let's be real. You're not breaking Google, YouTube, and Twitter to hack somebody that has $8,000 that you want. So clearly there were Twitter employees involved. Now, when you're going and you're fucking with somebody on the internet, when you're going and cooperating with the feds and snitching on somebody on the internet that has $50 million in Ethereum in a wallet, $100 million of Bitcoin in a wallet, that person is possibly very fucking dangerous. That money could belong to some very dangerous people, if not. And you're getting yourself involved because of greed or whatever nonsense with some fucked up people. Like a lot of people are like, yo, the mob is dead. The mob doesn't exist. Goodfellas, blah, blah, blah. Yo, they might be dead with the racketeering and things that they were doing in Brooklyn, New York. But they've joined crypto. The cartels have joined crypto, NFTs, like all these dangerous organizations are in cryptocurrency and NFTs, guys. Like as much as the nerds hate hearing that and they want to take credit for all of crypto's success when it comes to pumps and volume and stuff, it's really not them. The human trafficking art fucking industry joined crypto very early. There's a lot of scary money in this space. And I just see people speak to people a certain way on Twitter and on the internet. I definitely see people helping the government straight up. Like there's so many people in here that are greedy and scummy enough that 100% they will throw their best friend, possibly even mother and father, under the bus for 20% of a large amount of money.
Bro, they do it for a board ape, bro.
Correct. Now, to do this and think that the feds are going to protect you, you are out.
They'll do it for
You are
mutiny.
out of your fucking mind if you think you're going to do this and the feds are going to protect you too.
I'll do it for 2 mutiny.
Like, I hope that 20% you're hiring security teams. I don't know if you saw them catch 6ix9ine. And that's not, no one lost hundreds of millions of dollars because of 6ix9ine.
Wait, recently when he got his ass beat, or
When he got his ass
Hey,
beat.
and you
back?
6ix9ines. Hey, I wanted to tell you 6ix9ines too. They
Bro.
be hiding on Twitter and running around. You will go to LA Fitness at some point. You will, just like the homie Spotty
Bro,
said.
he was-
Spotty had to watch out for the
Bro
Discord
was in
doodles.
Orlando,
They
bro.
ran up.
South Florida.
ran up on a
Everybody
brother.
wants your
Yeah.
ass. What is